Hi, I'm Mark Mancini with VRBO Outstanding, and I am charged up about this week's episode. I'm going to make the case to why you should have an EV charger at your short-term rental and which of the three you should go with. Now watch the entire video because towards the end, I have a special gift for you just for watching. So welcome back. Before we start talking about EV chargers, I have to make two disclosures to you. The first, my wife and I own a Tesla Model 3. Second, we own a lot of Tesla stock. We're big fans of Elon Musk. He's the Howard Hughes of our time. Between PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla, we think the guy's great. So before we start talking about the case for EVs, I want to make an analogy to you. Some of you out there are a few, I've been in this for 12, 15 years. And back then, hosts, there were three types. Hosts that had no internet Wi-Fi for their offerings of their short-term rental. Ones that offered Wi-Fi, but charged a fee to that guest if they wanted it or not. And the third was a host that actually had Wi-Fi and offered it for free. Their whole point was, if they want internet, they can get their own, they can pay for it, they're on vacation, they shouldn't have to worry about it. And what happened was, people start moving towards the model of, we're gonna be offering Wi-Fi and include it for free. In fact, nowadays, you're expected to have fast and reliable internet, just like my last episode about that was. So, the point I'm going is, some people are saying, well, Mark, why are you supplying free EV chargers? Why not just supply them 20 gallons of gas for their car? That's really not a good analogy, okay? The technology has changed, and this is gonna be mainstream. I'm gonna prove my point, and I'm gonna make the case for you right here. But I want you to think back, if you were part of the host or guest experience 12, 15 years ago. If you weren't, you'll have to go by my experience where I rented homes and I had to pay for Wi-Fi. It was an extra fee. Now it's standard. Times will change. Okay. So let's talk about the market. You need to know your market. Where is the closest supercharger towards your home? Second, do any of your competitors offer EV charging? Now those are two key things. And for us, our closest supercharger is in Marathon, Florida, about 45 minutes south of here. That's 45 minutes each way. That's gonna burn up a lot of battery just to get a charge. The second thing is, none of our competitors have EV chargers in Almirada. We're the only ones. We've got two rentals here. We're the only two with them. And in South Florida and the Keys, Teslas are everywhere. So we have a leg up. In the past, well, let's see, just about a year and a half, we've owned the Oasis, and the 6 months we've owned the other house, Heart of Murata, we've had at least 3 Teslas use our chargers. Now, one didn't know we had a charger. When they found out and they came here, they were ecstatic and they left a long raving review. The other 2 knew we had it and they booked us for that reason. One of the selling points I'm gonna put on you is this. Your listing, title, and description, that first big line that captures their attention, many of you probably have 2 free characters in that title. Put in a capital EV in there, and EV owners like us, well, we're gonna see that, we're gonna gravitate towards it. That's gonna get you more bookings, okay? So let's talk about the EV market and where we're going, and I'm gonna leave a little nugget here for you. 2026 is a magical number. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Now sure, guests can plug in a 110 outlet into your home, and that'll charge the car, but guess what? That's gonna charge it at a rate of 3 miles in an hour. So overnight, maybe in 10 hours, they're only gonna get a 30-mile charge. Level 1 charging is simply not acceptable. We're gonna talk about level 2 charging and why you need to offer that. In fact, one of the things I did was I went to Amazon and picked up a EV parking only sign to put next to our Tesla charger, just as an attraction to get everyone to look. We want to talk about different things, price and cost, okay? Cost is the ongoing fees that are going to be encumbered with you to provide electric charging. Now, the ongoing fees in South Carolina, when we first bought our Tesla, the electricity rates were very inexpensive there. And so we had our Tesla for about a year and we noticed no increase in rates. Here in Florida, in fact, if you look at your electric bill, it'll say what your cost is for kilowatt hours. The kilowatt hour charge here in the Keys is 0.1146. Now I've got a link below and I've got a calculator. And this calculator is going to tell you how much it cost you. So if I put in 300 miles for a Tesla Model 3, it's going to say it's just under $10. Okay? Maximum range on these cars is about 300 to 350 miles is a typical charge. When people go on vacation, guess what? They don't drive much. They're going around to see little sites around here and there, but they're not putting on hundreds of miles. They're going to come to your rental and they're going to top off their car, and before they leave, they're going to top off again. I figured it's probably about $15 for that week of use for a Tesla. Not a whole lot. And if that gets you a booking, I'm sure you're willing to pay that $15 just to get that booking. So let's talk about Teslas. This year in 2022, they're going to be estimating a production rate of about 1.5 million. In 2023, they budgeted for 2 million. There's almost 3.5 million Teslas on the road worldwide. Now I say this because Tesla is growing at a rate of about 54% year over year. That's important because every other manufacturer is producing less each year. Year over year, they're on a decline. Tesla is on an incline. Now keep this in mind. I just mentioned before 2026. Here's what's important about that. Here's a graph. ICE, internal combustion engine sales, are up here. EV sales are down here. Now, assuming that there is no hockey stick growth going up or hockey stick decline going down, if we just project linearly, by 2026, that is the time both points should converge. And in 2026, there'll be as many EV sales as ICE sales. So by putting an EV charger in your short-term rental now, you're getting a leg up, you're preparing, and you're getting ready for when that day is going to come. Not only that, Teslas, by multiple independent sources, are considered the safest cars on the road. Now, the numbers are undeniable, but we also need to consider EVs in general, and we really need to accommodate all EVs. So we're going to talk about the 3 different types of chargers that I recommend. But first, I promised you a special gift, and this gift is only available for one person out there. Here's what I'm going to do. From here on out, every week when I produce a video, there's going to be a special code here at the bottom. Now that special code can only be used one time by one person. You go to VRBOutstanding.com and that $795 price gets dropped to $199. I'm going to save you $600. I'm doing this because many of you are struggling with bookings. They're down from last year. And for some of you, it's going to start costing you money. This is my gift to you to help you out. Let me help show you how we can help take you from VRB Ordinary to VRB Outstanding and make you profitable. So every week, make sure you watch our videos, subscribe to our channel, because I want each of you to take advantage of this gift right away. And each week, make sure you jump on it right away. So let's talk about those 3 chargers. First one we're going to talk about is a NEMA 1540. So let's walk this way. You can pause. So over here, the previous owner to the Oasis had a hookup for RVs. And one of the hookups they have here on the other side of the 4x4 is a NEMA 1540 jack. Now, most EV owners in their trunk or frunk, because remember, we don't have front motors, so we've got storage in front, we'll have adapters and cable to plug into other places. So a 1540, the receptacle and the outdoor cover for it, probably going to cost you $20 to $30. So it's a very inexpensive way. If you've got electricity nearby, to pop in one of those, it'll take less than an hour for an electrician, $30 in parts, and you've got a generic charger that is a level 2 charger that'll charge any EV out there. We've also done the same thing over at Heart of Murata. So here we are at Heart of Murata, a mile down the road. This is the NEMA 1540 jack that we put in. There's an enclosed fixture. Like I said, this was about $30 all in. Conduit and wire, only a couple feet worth, and a 60 amp breaker for the circuit box. This was a real quick and easy install. My nephew did it. I didn't help. It was all him. Did it in less than an hour. We ran another conduit for our Tesla charger. So right here at Heart of Murata from day one, we've got our Tesla charger, we've got our NEMA 1540. So now all of our guests can charge their EVs right here in our home. That's what's going to make you VRB outstanding. Okay, so there's two other chargers. First one I want to talk about is a dedicated Tesla charger. This is a Tesla receptacle. It only works in Teslas. Now they do make adapters that'll go on top of this that will work in other manufacturers. They're not cheap, but the owners of those other cars may sometimes have them with them. Now, I like putting the Tesla name on here because I own a Tesla and I'm appealing to those other Tesla owners. You know, we're a special bunch and we kind of like something that's not a generic charger. We like to know that we're catered to. And this is only $400. This is the cheapest EV charger you can get besides just using a NEMA 1540 jack. So I like this for a couple reasons. It's designed just for Teslas, but this one also has an option. You can get a metal pedestal for $425. It allows you to make this, if you don't have a wall, into a freestanding, almost looks like a pump for a gas station. So if you don't have a wall, for $425, you can attach this to a metal pedestal, attach it into the ground, and make it freestanding. The second one, or the third one I should say, besides the NEMA 1540 and the Tesla dedicated charger, is $550. It's from Tesla. It's a J1772 Charger. That charger is a generic charger. It comes with some adapters to plug into any of the major automobile charging systems to charge them up. Now, Mark, why should I get one of these Tesla chargers or the Tesla J1772? Why not some of these other manufacturers that are out there? And that's an excellent question because there are some that are around the same price, $550, $600, sometimes $800. The reason why I encourage the Tesla, well, they're built to last. The manufacturing of this is absolutely incredible. We're probably 200 feet from salt water. We've had a couple hurricanes come by and this thing's still ticking. There's no sign of rust. Remember, some of these Tesla engineers get their same technology from the engineers of Elon's other company, SpaceX. If he's putting a rocket in the air 100 times, reusing it, and is not having any problems, I'm going to trust his charger. So it's really a durability factor for us. We believe in his product. We think it's superior. And I'm not alone. A lot of people will say that the inside guts of these are made very simple, but also very durable. So the initial cost, you've got the charger or the receptacle, but you also have installation. Let's go over to our electrical panel and I'll show you that. So here we are at the back of the guest house at the Oasis. This is the electrical panel that we tapped into for our Tesla charger. You only need a 50 amp circuit. We always err on the higher side. We go with a 60 amp circuit. Now, installation can cost anywhere from $200 to $1,300. That's what we've paid. For two of our homes that we've had the install done, the electrical box has been within very close proximity to the charger. It's only needed a couple feet of wire, and those have only been $200 for an electrician to install. It takes less than an hour to do. This one cost $1,300 because I wasn't here for the installation. And what happened was they went ahead and they buried the conduit to have it look aesthetically pleasing. Well, I'd rather have saved several $100s and have the conduit on the outside of the house because, as you can see, we already have a lot of conduits and wires running along the outside of the house. I didn't care if there was one more. So if I was here, I probably would have saved several $100. But going about, I don't know, 35 feet to where the charger is, which is at the very corner of the house there, they charged $1,300, but they buried the conduit underground. Now, again, two of the other installations we did, such as the Heart of Murata, the electrical box was right there, a couple feet away. At our home in South Carolina, the electrical box that was on the outside of the garage, we simply drilled a hole, ran the wires to the other side of the wall, and put the charger right on there. And that was less than $200. So these installations are cheap. So to recap, have I sold you on should you put an EV charger in your short-term rental? Hopefully I did. Hopefully I made the case about being ready for 2026, about adding 2 little letters in the back of your title to attract more guests and better guests. And really with the cost, you're talking $400 or $500 for a charger, or if you just want a NEMA jack, 30 bucks, a couple $100 for installation. This amenity is less than $1,000. In fact, what we do, we put a NEMA 1540 and a Tesla charger in all of our properties. With installation, it's sub $1,000. I think it's the best way to go. Prove me wrong. Thank you very much for joining us this week. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button below. We'll see you again next week.